if they should. Star Wars, please let me Star Wars.
So, as Dirk pointed out, 158 tonight.
I did?
Record.
You
Yeah,
did.
you did.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Recording out in the patio. It's a little chilly at Park Plaza Liquor and Deli in Prescott, Arizona. Sitting down, we will be discussing tonight one of my all-time favorite movie franchises.
Yeah. Has
Not
he
from what I
explained the
hear.
story? Yeah, has he explained the story?
Shut up. This is
I'll
an
get to
intro
that
still.
later.
This is an intro still. We will be talking about the upcoming Star Wars Last Jedi. Did I get that part right anyway?
Yeah, you did.
Last Jedi that will be launching onto your
The
movie
Last
theaters.
Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
The
Grammatic Nazi over there. Which will be hitting screens on December 15th in another week and a half or so from when we are talking tonight. So, as if anybody has listened to our previous Star Wars special episodes, that we have done a few in the past, you will know that I am not the Star Wars expert, so I am surrounding myself tonight with the local Star Wars Illuminati, starting with good friend of the show, good friend of mine, Mr. Matt Hinshaw, sitting to my right. Matt, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, sir?
We're great. We've been here for like 2 hours waiting for you.
Sorry, some people got to work on Mondays.
Gave me plenty of time to eat.
No,
Nice.
Some people go to work. I know you go to work. If you were going to say
I'm not
you
saying what I'm
work,
thinking.
you work, that
Yeah.
that doesn't count, because I've seen you at work, and I wouldn't call it work.
Well, yeah, because we used to work next to each other
I
all
would
the time.
call it being at work.
I learned it from you.
Contact info, Mr. Matty. Where can folks find out about you
If
and your
anybody's
projects?
listened to more than one of your podcasts, they know all my stuff. Hinshaw photo,
You're easily forgotten.
NAZ Sons.
Wow.
See, bold.
Wow.
All
That's
right,
rude.
Twitter, Instagram,
At
Facebook.
Hinshaw photo, pretty much everything. Then Northern Arizona Sons is my other. At NAZ Sons. Don't call them Naz Sons. Putting that out there, they don't like that. NAZ, spell it out. Then Rattlers.
I know what I'll be calling them now.
And then my day job, Burger Mini Group. Welcome to Prescott. At Realty Executives, things like that.
Taking pictures of houses.
Yep.
And how many houses have you photographed for work that have a dedicated doll room?
This year? Or all time?
That's just rude.
And that doesn't count your house.
See, BJ, I warned you, dude.
Yeah, I know.
warned
Why,
you.
why is he's bringing that up right now?
No, he just anywhere
I
he can
didn't-
just
I'm
squeeze
just saying,
in. He just
you've got a
turns the
doll
knife,
room.
It's not a doll room. It is a collection.
Have you toured his whole house?
No, but I've been to Beatty's, which is just as
Yeah,
intense.
Yeah,
actually.
Dave has me beat.
Does
Yeah.
Dave has you beat. Yeah,
Does Dave have inflatables as well?
maybe.
Okay.
If he does, he didn't bring them out.
But those aren't in the room; those are in the closet. Come on. Jeez.
All right, how many do you got, Maddie? How many figurines do you have?
I don't
They're
count.
Hummels, right?
I don't count.
Come on. Yeah, you do. You
No,
know.
I
You
don't.
know exactly.
I
how
don't. I don't even pull them out of the box. I'm just like,
I go over
Here's
there.
another one.
He goes. This one's out of the box. That you can touch. That one's
Yeah.
That one's in the box. Don't touch it. It's in the box.
No,
this
you
one over
can't
here. This one over here. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it.
hey, I've curbed quite a bit. Being I'll turn and talk to the people I'm here want to talk to. So I don't know if you guys, how much of collectors you guys are. I know you have some swag.
Yeah, some.
But I've curbed a lot of my collecting down big time, and I only get the 6-inch Black Series. I don't get anything else. But
Again, radio
Star
friendly
Wars.
language.
Phrasing?
Okay?
Yeah.
Radio friendly language.
Sand
Man,
6-inch Black Series.
Black
you're
Series.
a
Yep.
filthy,
All right, yeah.
filthy man.
Good to know.
They got the supersized, with the
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right, we'll get into a little bit more about your
Yeah, I can keep
shooting.
going forever.
I do want to hear about upcoming Sons and Rattlers and all that stuff, because we've done
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with them in the past. Now, to your left, our next resident Star Wars expert, BJ. Met him for the first time tonight, I believe.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I think we may have met at one of the town functions. Did you go?
Maybe actually.
I don't remember.
I've been to a couple. with my mom.
I work with BJ's mom quite a bit over at the town of Chino Valley, Miss Kat Lordi, who I'm extremely nice to because she gives me my check every month.
Yes, she gives everyone their checks, including herself.
So she works at the welfare office?
Oh, I wish, man.
Oh, man, that was so
That
good.
is my dream, to be able to sit on my couch, collect money, and not have to put pants on. That's like my dream job.
Well, you don't put pants on when you go to work now, so
Well,
what
that's
would be
only if
different?
I can
You'd
take
be off the
pictures.
couch.
That's only if I can take pictures from the car window. If I have to get out of the car, I actually have to put
Dude,
pants
you clearly
on.
haven't met a few of my former coworkers.
I see, Joe. All right, BJ, give us your whatever social media you have. Of course, we want to hear about your podcast as well. So your YouTube link, all that good stuff.
I'm Brenton BJ Lordi, and I am one of 4 members of the BlueMilk Podcast, which specializes specifically in Star Wars themed commentary.
Star Wars related.
Yeah, we kind of go off on tangents every now and
Yeah,
then,
we do.
but
But it is related. It's all related.
kinda.
And we'll
still
get into
related.
exactly what that means in a minute because I have many questions. But go get us your contact info. Where can folks find you? Where can they listen? Where can they watch?
We have a Facebook page, which is the BlueMilk Podcast on Facebook, as well as the BlueMilkPodcast.com, which should take you to our YouTube homepage. And we're working on getting RSS feeds over to
Nice.
like iTunes and.
We are on
Spotify.
Twitter as well.
Oh yeah.
At the Blue Milk Podcast.
Not on-
actually no, at BlueMilk Podcast.
At Blue Milk.
We don't have the in that.
Okay. I've tagged it on there. We'll have links to, Matt, your information. As always, I've got it saved in a template. And
also,
of
not
course,
like I'm on this ever.
And of course, BJ's. We'll get links to yours in our show notes and links to your episodes on YouTube and all that good. So very visual. I really enjoyed the ones that I've watched. I want to get in. I kind of glanced through some of them
I was
just
gonna
for
say.
time wise, because when we started planning this was like just a couple days ago. So, excuse me.
It's not true. I told him about you guys like
No, I know,
2 or 3
but
weeks ago.
I
so.
That's cool. It's cool.
He's just making it up now.
Well, no. we would have discussed it, except one of my longest local friends here doesn't
Lord.
know what my phone number is. Evidently, 'cause
No,
you get-
I know. I did
that's
screw
right.
that up. I did screw that
Matt,
up so bad.
Matt,
I've had that.
I got some rando chick, man. She's
Oh,
got a
wait,
voicemail
that
for
could-
me.
That could have been mine too.
You wish.
But no, I was going to say one of the things I like about is that you guys, yes, you're a podcast, but you're a video podcast. You're not strictly audio, which is nice
Well,
and unique.
I mean, Matt, look at me.
Thank you.
Trust me, I would.
I know. Look at
Video,
me too.
video would not do this podcast.
There's
Oh,
a
sir.
reason why we're behind the camera.
Sir, people want to see other people, ultimately.
Yeah, not all people.
I'm just happy you called me people.
Yeah, you're a person. You're a person. You're good. You got a
Genetically
great
speaking.
face. You'd probably be
he's
good.
lying. You could tell his voice got real like, no, you're people, really good. You're great. You guys obviously are having a lot of fun with the Blue Milk Podcast. It really comes across in watching your videos and listening to you guys. Who is on that? Save the best for last, but who is on there with you?
Well, there's Jacob Samuel Sparks is one of the members, and then Tyler Brimer is the other member. Then there's me, and then there's my friend Dirk
Now,
Vandenberg.
Dirk, who
Van
is
Denberg.
Van
Doesn't even know who I am.
Dirk?
Van
Who is-
Damberg.
does he know your number at least? Because Hinshaw
I don't
doesn't
know.
know.
Do you have my
mine.
number?
We text each other regularly.
Oh, that's right. We do.
Remember,
Yeah.
we have a group text, and you just text
That's-
me directly instead of texting
replied.
the group.
I replied. Sorry.
I know, I appreciate that. But, like, really, the other guys need to kind of know these things, too. Not just me and you.
I suppose.
Now, Dirk, you handle sounded like when we were talking kind of the technical end of getting the Blue Milk Podcast up and out there, and you also from just the couple of episodes that I've gone through, you also it seems like, and I don't know if you want to talk about this here or not, but you have a bit of a substance abuse problem.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Most people know me as drinking. Because when I get together with these three, I have to.
Let's be honest here, sir. It's not really a substance abuse problem. It's more just like substance assistance.
That's true. That's true.
There
That
we
is
go.
a very good point.
Unassisted conversation is what you call it when you don't have something.
Yeah. If I didn't have
I'll explain it to you later, Matt. He has
Okay,
no
thanks.
idea what we're talking
I'm
about.
confused.
Life without booze? I don't get it.
I was going to say, everybody always calls me an alcoholic. I said, I don't go to meetings.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Alcoholics go to meetings.
All
You're
right.
drunk.
No time for that. I could be at the bar when I'm supposed to be in a meeting. Come on.
The two of you, BJ and Dirk, tell me a little bit about why you started the podcast. What was the genesis of it?
It was
How long,
Jacob's idea.
How long have you guys known
Yeah.
each other? All that good stuff.
Let's see, a couple months.
Yeah, since we started the podcast,
Yeah,
pretty much.
been about
Really?
3 months now.
Yeah.
Jacob was the one who approached me and said, "Hey, I want to do this Star Wars podcast. Do you want to be in it?" And it's nothing I've ever done before, and I don't like being filmed or recorded, or I don't like people. So
So pretty much everything to do with the podcast you don't like.
yeah, I didn't know. Well,
You
I-
just described every Star Wars fan, though.
pretty
I don't
much.
like
Yeah,
people.
introverted.
Leave me alone. I want to be in my room with my dolls.
No, that's-
Exactly. Yeah.
Santos has this whole
mean,
thing
Jacob
down.
maybe.
He just doesn't like Star Wars. Like, he doesn't wear pants. He doesn't leave the house. I mean, he's got it down. He just needs to like Star Wars, and then he'll fit right in.
This is Hinshaw's and my transaction through text the other night.
Oh, Jesus.
This will get.
Great.
How far back are you going to go?
No, some of those we can't.
Because some of that was not daytime. I was day drinking.
Yeah.
Some of that is not
FYI.
radio friendly.
Nice.
Oh, most of it. When I was day drinking on Black Friday, I believe that you should not be shopping on Black Friday. You should be drinking. So I started drinking at like 10.
Now,
I'll agree with
So-
that.
That brings
You know.
up a very, very valid point. We are financed by our Amazon link at milehighshow.com, where you can also find all of our back episodes through our archives and links to our other sponsorships like Audible, where you can get a free 30-day subscription and a free audio download, just by using the code MileHigh at checkout.
Now, here's
Hey,
one.
hey, hey, I'll turn you
come
off
on,
right
I got
now.
a good one.
I'll turn you off
I got
right
a
now.
good one, though.
You can also use our Amazon link at milehighshow.com, and you click on it. It takes you directly to your own Amazon login or Amazon Prime login page. Doesn't cost you anything extra, and you shop away like normal, and we get a little kickback. We get a little taste of what you buy. Matt gets 10, 15, 20 packages delivered a day at your house. Every time I go to his house, there's
It's
a new
just the-
Amazon package.
It's just
in
the
there.
dolls.
It's all inflatable.
He has never
They
once,
pop really quick.
never
It's part of that
once,
6-inch black series.
he has never once used that Amazon link.
You think I want to help this guy out? I mean, come on.
Well, put it this way: use the Amazon link. It keeps me from borrowing money from you.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good
and,
call.
and sleeping on your
I didn't
couch.
think of that. Well, no, that's just when Sandra kicks you out.
Yeah, which she will if I go broke.
But no, I was going to say, what's a good Star Wars themed? What's a good Audible recent Star Wars book?
Oh.
That would be all right.
The
I
one
don't know the recent
I
ones.
didn't pull it up, but one of the ones I was reading excerpts from, and then the audio had a lot of extra features, was Carrie Fisher's recent one, and I can't remember what it was. It came out about a year and a half ago. I'll put it in the link.
Well, that
'cause
was
it had some
That was
really
an
good.
autobiography, though, wasn't it? It wasn't
Yeah,
actually
but it dealt a lot about
Yeah.
on set stories and things about the filming and different.
That's loosely Star Wars, yeah. Okay, we can go with that.
Well, I was
Star Wars related.
I was gonna go through our text here. Because,
Oh, okay.
Because to figure out what to talk about, we like
I know
to
what he's
toss
gonna
around.
bring up.
We like to toss around ideas just loosely, like I said, just a jumping off point.
Yeah.
So I ranked my my top Star Wars movies because I did finally watch them. I have yours in the car, by the way.
Nice.
Did I hear that right? You finally watched
Yes.
them?
Yeah, so as far as I know, the only episode that he's actually ever seen, I think, was 4.
I've seen them all.
Well, prior to like a week
No,
ago?
the first one I saw, and you guys are going to have to help me on this. You guys are going to have to help me.
Alright.
But I did rank my top.
Oh, okay.
First,
Which I'm proud of.
Empire Strikes
Right
Back,
there. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Force Awakens, and then Trouble with Tribbles.
What?
Nice try.
What?
Trouble with Tribbles should be first.
No, this is
All right, Captain Kirk, said Gandalf.
First, you guys are going to have to help me on the timeline because the first movie came out, was it 75, 76?
77.
77.
77.
So
my
I was 11 years old. I was the target audience for that.
Yeah.
An 11-year-old kid dragging his parents to go see the latest blockbuster. I would have been their target audience.
Yeah, but it went right over your head, didn't it?
Well, I was telling you off mic before, I'm the youngest of 6. So all of my pop culture references came from older brothers and sisters, older kids in the neighborhood. And then my parents, who were born in the early 30s, were quite a bit older than my classmates' parents. You know, they were in their 30s and 40s, you know, when I was born, and then when I was coming of age. So I grew up, and I'm not joking, I grew up listening to Frank Sinatra from my mom, and then, you know, Zeppelin and the Stones from my brother.
Yeah, but none of that is bad.
Well, it's not, but it wasn't what other 11-year-old kids were listening to. They were listening to the top 40 at the time.
Why be normal?
Well, no, that's the thing. So the movie...
To be honest, that's what I would expect an 11-year-old to be listening to right now.
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, and Zeppelin.
The movies...
Zeppelin, yes.
Well, the movies I was watching were from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is all pre-cable, so this is the late-night movies or the Saturday afternoon movies.
On one of 3 channels that you
exactly.
Through the rabbit ears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Well, our first color TV was when I was in junior high. So that,
Yeah, that works.
Damn.
so you know, it was. I was listening to and taking in material and input and influences from a significantly older generation. So the movies we would go see were typically not the normal 11-year-old movies. Now, having said that, obviously, when Star Wars came out, it went across generations.
Well, yeah,
Everybody,
it dominated.
but we were not necessarily a sci-fi or a fantasy fans in our family. A lot of detective shows, a lot of old Bogart movies and things like, a lot of westerns and things like that.
Well, yeah, like Batman.
And Batman, I was the only one in our family that watched it because I watched it after school. My
that's
older brothers and
blasphemy.
sisters didn't. They were teenagers, and they were, you know, my sister, she about cried the other day when David Cassidy died.
Dude.
You know,
Yeah.
because she had the Partridge Family and the Osmonds on her wall as a kid in the early 70s and
That's
late 60s.
awkward.
I mean, who didn't shed a tear when Adam West passed recently? I mean, come on.
So
Everybody loved Adam West.
I grew up watching a different genre of movies because that's what my parents watched. And all my cousins and things growing up were significantly older than me. So just didn't catch me. Now, having said all that, the very first movie I ever saw from this family was in 1982 or 83 on VHS. What would have come out? What would have been around then?
82 on VHS.
Would that have been Empire?
It should have been Empire.
Okay.
No, 4 New Hope.
That had
Came out
already
on
been
VHS?
out. That was out like in 80, 81, I think. I mean, because that's when the first VHSs were coming out.
Return came out in the early 80s, but I don't know if it was on VHS, though.
Huh? And when did it come out?
Yeah, so that would have been Empire. Yeah.
And I'll tell you exactly where it was.
Return came out 83, 84, something like that. I don't know the exact
84.
date on that one. Yeah,
84.
So what?
Yeah.
What I want to say it was Empire Strikes Back was probably the
Yeah.
first one I saw.
the best one.
It wasn't the first one. I know that because I didn't see that till much later.
I love the fact that he references episode 4 as the first one.
It is the first one.
well, it's
It's the first one.
Numerically, it's not.
You know what? Don't start.
Well, I'll start.
Don't start.
I will
Don't
start.
start.
I want to hear about what hooked you guys, but I'll tell you the first time I saw it, I was in high school, and I was at my buddy Steve Murphy's house. It was in the middle of the day, probably about noon, 1 o'clock.
So when you should be in school.
On a school day, and we were in his dad's den drinking bourbon,
Nice.
hanging out.
You know how many times your stories start with, and we were
Well,
drinking bourbon?
Steve Murphy was one of my best friends, and he was from I hate to say it, the other side of the tracks. It wasn't tracks. It was the other side of the freeway. The side of the freeway I was on was more lower middle class, and where he was from, went to a different elementary school. We met in junior high and went to the same high school, but a significantly better neighborhood. So they actually had a den, aside from a sunken den, a pool table. It was actually a bumper pool table and a foosball thing and a big screen projection TV.
Oh,
One of
man.
those big
Dude, that's rich back
And-
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's super rich.
No,
Loaded.
yeah, and we were still very new into the color TV phase of our household.
Upper middle class.
And we were drinking, we were having fun, middle of the day, cutting school. And he made a comment. I don't remember what it was, but it was a line of one of the movies. And I didn't react because at that time, Blues Brothers was on a
Just
constant.
a blank stare.
Well, we were just, which is what I did a lot of times when I was 3 drinks in on a Wednesday afternoon.
Especially in class.
Yeah, we used to drink in class too. Thanks, Mr. Anderson, for never checking that Donald Duck orange juice I had sitting on my desk. But when we would go out or go like hang out at somebody's house, we would have Caddyshack was on a constant replay. We could name every line in the movie, Blues Brothers, Animal House. It was constantly on.
Well,
So we were joking around, tossing out jokes, and then he said something, went right over my head, and I didn't acknowledge it. And he's laughing, looking at me, going, "Well, hey," what? I'm like, I have no idea what you said. He goes, "From Star Wars." I said, "I had never seen it," and his jaw hit the table, and he looked at me. He goes, "What?" You've never seen any of? No, never seen it. So he went over and got the VHS and put it in, and it wasn't
Good.
New Hope. It was another. I'm guessing Empire.
It had to be
Wait,
Empire.
okay. Did it start on like an ice planet?
No, I don't remember
Was it
now.
super
I
white?
just remember it
It was a
wasn't
long
the
time
first
ago,
one.
man.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
this
drugs
was-
and booze.
And
ago.
he was drinking, so
I
it could have been Caddyshack too.
Yeah, I guess.
But- so we watched it, and then it was over, and he came and sat down. He looked at me and goes, "That's great, right?" And I go, "Hey, it's all right." I was 16, 17, just watching it for the first time, and we weren't watching it on his big projection TV. It was watching it on a regular. I was like, "It's all right."
13-inch
And then
black and white.
the next time I
Not a
saw
good way to watch that.
any of those movies in any shape or form was on the big screen in 99, 98
yeah,
when the new
late 90s. They
Oh.
when they
re-released
reran them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, when they reran the original trilogy? In
Yeah.
theater?
That would've been-
no,
No,
when
episode
when
one.
episode 1 came out.
Oh yeah.
And I watched it, and
My sentiments exactly.
and now I'm blurring them all together because I watched that then, and then didn't see any of them until about 3 weeks ago when Matt gave me his
on the
his
third
stack.
time.
Thank you
And
for
he has
finally
borrowed
bringing
them.
him up to speed.
No, I had him a year
He's had him
ago.
a few times. He had him for a solid year and didn't watch them because I have. Much like probably you guys, I have 2 copies. I have the
Yeah.
DVD copy, and then when every single prequel came out, I bought it as it came out.
I think we still have the
And then-
VHS.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got-
I wish I had those.
I have the VHS. Never watched it.
But then
It's
they
my
came
wife's.
out. They came out with a super crazy special Blu-ray edition. And of course, I pre-ordered that so I could have all of them.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
and those don't leave the house, but the DVDs travel.
Now I have.
You're gonna have a really
I'm late
hell of a
in a
time
lot of things,
with the
so
new
please
trilogy.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
take this personal. It's not just late to Star Wars. I'm late to everything. I got married 8-9 years after all my buddies did. They are having grandkids when I had my first son. He's 8 years old, and I'm 50. I'll be 52. I got an 8-year-old at home. So about a year and a half ago, when we grabbed that first set from you, I started watching them. My son loves the Clone Wars cartoons that we watch on
Yeah.
Netflix. He likes looking at the comic books and the books, but he hadn't seen any of the movies. So I started pulling up YouTube clips, and he's pretty sensitive to, and he has been since he was a kid, too much action he gets a little freaked out on, and just violent cartoons and stuff he's not really into. So I showed him a couple clips of Star Wars on YouTube, and he was, I don't know who that is, but I love it. I love this. Then we started watching some longer ones, and I could see this was when he was about 5, and he started getting a little antsy around him. And my wife told me, "Don't show him yet. Wait till he's a little older." So when we got him from you most recently, he still hadn't seen any, but he had gone through everything on Netflix from the Clone Wars, including, what's the one that's on there now, Rogue One?
Rogue One, yeah.
Which he watched, and he loved it. So that's when I went and grabbed
good.
that other set.
Has he seen Rebels?
I don't. What is
It's
that?
a cartoon like the Clone Wars.
Probably.
It's on the Disney Channel. streaming thing.
DX or whatever.
Extreme Disney or whatever.
Yeah.
He may have, but about a month or so ago, several weeks ago, we grabbed the set from you again, and we sat over a weekend and watched all. How many are there? 15, 20 movies? How many are there?
37.
It seems like it now.
No, there's like 8.
Disney has a hold of it.
Well,
Yeah.
It's Star Wars for life.
We watched them all.
Now there's 8.
Now there's 8. Or there will be 8.
No,
there is 8.
There is
there
8
will
right
be
now.
9.
There will be 9.
There will be 10.
We watched them all.
There
and
will
then
be 3 more.
We watched them all, and then we watched them again, and then I left, and he watched them again.
Nice.
So I have
So your
seen
son's
them
a better
all.
fan than you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And he also has a couple of dolls, so we got to watch that whole thing.
Inflatables.
Oh, sweet. I know what to get him for Christmas. I don't even have to shop. I got duplicates.
So I have seen them all,
6-inch black.
and I still make a note of that. 2731. Don't let Anthony listen to that portion. I still haven't figured out the hatred for Jar Jar Binks. I don't get it. Why do people hate him?
Oh my God.
You're going to start out with one of the most hot topics of all time. This is going to be a 3-hour-long podcast, dude.
All right, so from like a
I liked him. He was funny.
No, he wasn't.
from a cultural standpoint, he is a very racist character.
He's a Rastafarian.
Yeah, they don't act like that, dude. like maybe in the 80s.
They did on Living Color.
Yeah, maybe in the 80s, but they aren't like that anymore, man. They stopped being that way a while ago. Kind of evolved with the times,
Wait,
man.
You mean they don't swim anymore, or what?
They don't stick their tongues out 6 inches out of their head.
Well, you're just hanging out with the wrong Rastafarians. That's all.
Apparently.
Wow. Yeah, I think you are.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not hanging out with Jar Jar
Okay.
Binks.
So you've heard not intentionally. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know if this is 100% true. You guys can correct me. But last time we sat and did one of these podcasts, was it last year?
Yeah, I think we did one for Rogue One. I'm not 100%.
I went
I know
through
we
and
did for
started
Force
reading
Awakens.
a whole lot of articles from way back and listening to different podcasts and stuff, trying to get myself in the right frame of mind, and it didn't work. But one of the articles I read had to do with what movie was he in? What was Jar Jar?
Episode 1.
Well, he was in one.
When
and two.
they
one
were
and two.
when they were
Yeah.
planning that, there was somebody who actively campaigned to get the role of Jar Jar Binks, and at that point, it hadn't been fleshed out that it was going to be animated. He thought it was going to be a
Real person.
costume.
Well, it was a
made up.
costume person in the first one.
Michael Jackson actively fought for that role.
No
and
way.
was extremely disappointed when he didn't get it. And then and I can't remember because it's been a year since I read the article. It was an Entertainment
no,
Weekly.
man.
or
It
something
would have
like
made
that.
the
know.
part better.
No.
No.
Yeah,
But
No.
yeah. Jar Jar moonwalking, that would have been awesome.
No.
He really wanted to do it. And then when he was told no, they were obviously going a different direction because because
They do actually have an actor inside the suit.
That would have
They
been a
have it.
whole different character.
I mean, they.
It definitely would explain why Anakin went to the dark side.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been the light side at that point. of Michael Jackson's
No,
career.
no, that's.
I'm talking pigment.
Well done.
but-
well done.
Yeah.
Fucking,
But when
like,
he
emotionally
was
dark.
Yeah.
officially told no, you're not even in the running, he took it very personal and then
And went and fondled a child.
Either did
Or
no, he was
12.
doing that anyway. But he
There you go.
he either didn't go to the premiere when invited, or he went and then basically cold-shouldered Lucas and all those guys for it. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to pull that article up again. But it was legit. I had never heard that before, but this was a legit article. It was either Entertainment Weekly or Variety or something like that. Did an article on,
hadn't heard it
on
either.
his campaigning hard for that role.
Interesting.
That's weird. That's super
why you-
weird.
And that's why you don't read.
It's disturbing.
I'm glad Michael Jackson didn't get the role.
Well, yeah, me too.
I mean, honestly,
They should
Well-
just killed off the character and been done with it.
yeah.
Well,
They shouldn't have just put him in there.
Have you seen the theories of him turning dark and that's why they killed him or whatever? There's all kinds of fan.
Well, no, the fan theory with Jar Jar Binks is that he's actually Darth Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
He's like a Sith Lord or something.
Dark Force.
He actually can use the Force, and like that explains like certain like cut edits in the movie.
I read an article on that, and they just compared. Well, this would explain why he did that. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, he's...
Well,
First, I had to Google what
I
a
was going to
Sith
say,
Lord
you probably
was.
hadn't watched the movies by then. Yeah.
The guy with the red face, right? Wasn't he
no,
one?
well, no, he wasn't a Darth. Well, I mean,
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, yeah,
he
he
was.
was.
A Darth, yeah, that's weird.
Remember, we almost bought him
That's so weird.
next door to my house? Didn't you go look
You
at
almost
that?
bought Darth Maul?
The neighbor
Oh,
had a
that's right.
full-size mannequin
Yeah.
of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they
I
just
don't
wanted to
remember
get
what
rid
he
of
was charging. He was charging
They didn't.
something.
They wanted to know what we would pay for it. And
Couple bucks.
I had
No,
you.
I didn't go look at it.
I
$5.
bet you did.
$5.
Half off.
No, if I would have looked
They
at it,
ended
I
up
would have
throwing
just,
it away.
Oh, dude, I would have. Well, I don't know. I have one of those big.
You put it in your room with all your other dolls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have one of those big stick-ons that sticks on the wall. Those life size.
Again,
Of Darth
okay,
Vader?
I thought you were talking
I
about one of the
just-
section.
Yeah, but that's
was.
Vader.
I don't even.
So
I don't
did I,
even
yeah.
have- I don't even have that out. It's
The
still
6-inch
rolled
black
up, so.
version. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and at 32:45, Anthony has to turn it off again. My son's
Oh, come
happy, by
on.
the
Your
way.
son doesn't listen to
Okay,
this.
so
You don't listen to this. You don't even
the
edit.
best part about telling stories about family life on a podcast is my wife has never ever listened to one, so I get away with a lot of stuff until people at work go, "Hey, did you hear what Matt said about you?" And then I sleep in the garage.
Or
So-
calls me and sleeps on my couch
We've
again.
heard Matt's story about how he
Many
how
times.
he started his
Many
his
times.
fascination with Star Wars. Tell us what grabbed you, BJ. What was your earliest memory of Star Wars and the Star Wars universe?
Oh, funny enough, this whole topic actually we cover in the first episode of our podcast.
Yes, we do.
Which is the Blue Milk Podcast.
Yeah, the BlueMilk Podcast.
BlueMilkPodcast.com.
Yeah, BlueMilkPodcast.com.
Hey, you got it right.
Plug away.
Well, that's for the YouTube site. First episode.
It's the only one
we-
important at the moment.
Yeah, I know. So in the first episode we covered this, where we each kind of went over why we or how we first got introduced to Star Wars.
Did anybody else is involved? A guy named Steve Murphy.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good. I'm unique.
No. Most of us was just well, Jacob was weird, but
Jacob went on for half an hour just going on.
Oh,
telling
we
us
should get
his life
Jacob and Les
story.
Lyman to do a podcast together.
yeah, there you go.
They would be perfect.
Yeah, no, that'd be
It
great.
would be the world's longest podcast.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
It would be legit.
We love you, Jacob.
Yeah, we do.
And Leslie Earl, not a serial killer Lyman.
But my first experience with Star Wars was actually I'm an only child, so I was actually my mom enrolled me in Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and the big brother that I happened to get at the time was married, so I happened to also get a big sister as well because of that. And he had a really nice setup down in his effectively like his basement, where he had like a bachelor pad, where he had like a theater room with like a big giant projection big screen.
Nice.
And he had a bunch of movie racks, and he had theater seating and everything like that in there.
Cool.
Yeah, and he would like I the first time I ever saw Alien was down there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, like he introduced
Nice.
me to a lot of like the iconic science fiction movies.
Okay, now what year are we talking about? How old a guy are you?
Well, I'm 33 right now, so this was
So were these shoes.
yeah. But
So how old were you?
I believe it was when I was around 13.
13-ish. So
Yeah.
what year? Don't make me do math. We found that the other night. I can't do that. I'm at
Like
You're a
90,
photographer.
so
It was a
98?
longish time ago.
98?
Longish.
Can you do that in the yellow
No, it
scroll?
wasn't 90.
Yeah,
In
you
a
can.
longish,
In a
time,
longish
ago,
time ago, yeah.
BJ was in a strange man's basement.
What year
oh
were
wait,
you
no,
born?
go ahead.
That's actually that's accurate.
84.
It is accurate.
You were born in
Yeah,
'84.
so
Yeah.
97.
I
98.
graduated
Dude.
high school in '84.
There you go.
Whee!
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Baby.
I am the youngest person here. Yes.
So we're talking.
I think you are.
So we're talking mid '90s.
Which, speaking
Yeah.
Okay.
of, where's the cocktail waitress?
There isn't
really.
one. They can't serve out here.
What? Then how come I can bring it out here?
Because you're serving yourself
I think
at
they
that
can't
point.
serve out here because they only have like 4 people working.
Oh.
Yeah, the dude in the bar was way overloaded.
If
He
we
was running around all
Yeah,
over the
that's
place.
true. There was a lot of people.
if we talk really nice to
Yeah.
Mrs. Dirk over there,
Mrs. Dirk.
And-
No. That's the woman.
And from what
woman.
I'm gathering, she's
Capital
pretty
T.
used to juggling booze at that house. That sounds like one thing.
Yeah, with Dirk, yes.
That's
Yes.
the very first thing. When the very first clip I watched of BlueMilk Podcast was you guys were going around the table introducing yourself, and then you sat down and says, "And I'm drinking."
Yep.
I said, I
Yep.
like this guy.
That's why you have a Costco membership. It's much cheaper that way.
You get him by the gallon.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're in a guy's basement. He's showing you movies.
Yeah.
And it is or is not Michael Jackson. I forget. Where were we with Michael Jackson?
It wasn't Michael
Okay.
Jackson.
We passed on with
Actually,
Michael Jackson passed on. Actually,
at the time, he
It was a different white man. Go ahead.
at the time he was the owner of Tabletop Electrician.
was he your big brother?
Is that local? Did you grow up here? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, he's out in Chino.
Nice. The metropolis known as Chino Valley.
Not even close. Don't even go
I
there.
first lived in Paulden out here, so Paulden
Paulden-
is a suburb of Ash Fork. So Chino, when I moved to
I
Chino,
wouldn't
that
even
was
go
coming
that
to
far,
the big
man.
city.
Paulden is more like just where sheep herders live, isn't it?
Not anymore. I moved.
They like to think of themselves as herders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You're in a strange man's basement. The lights are out, and you're watching a movie.
Yeah, and he showed me episode 4, A New Hope, the first time, and it was good.
What grabbed you about it? What was this 13-year-old mind? What was it that got you? Because no mistake about it. People who love Star Wars love Star Wars. There's something that is a huge draw. And quite frankly, not joking around, I don't get it. It's just not my thing. And I understand that. You know, some people like jazz. Some people like blues. Some people don't. Some people like the accordion, and they
Some people
probably
like
Star
people.
Wars. You don't.
No, I don't.
You like booze.
I do, which helps me tolerate people.
Deal with people and
Yeah.
jazz.
Booze doesn't talk back either.
Okay, what was it? What was it? Yes, it does. Trust me, it's been yelling at me.
No,
for
that's
years.
yourself.
Put me down. Get me out of your mouth.
Wait, that's the booze?
So
That
what
sounds
was
like
it?
the strange guy in the basement.
Well,
Yeah, I think he's projecting Michael Jackson
That's
on me. I
flashback.
think.
I
That's a
wanted to-
flashback.
I see you were getting big brothers and big sisters, and I have for decades been trying to get rid of big brothers and big sisters.
Really?
You have not met my family. Go.
I have.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt comes over and looks at my family and goes, "Boy, my family seems normal all of a sudden."
No, they are
And
not.
his family is not normal.
No.
So go ahead,
Anyway.
DJ. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Very few families. are
What
normal.
grabbed you? What was it that you were able to identify with New Hope?
I would mostly just go with the fact that, Luke always came across as just a whiny little punk. Always.
Which is why I hated the movie.
No, see, the thing is there are more characters than just Luke, so you can't hate a movie just because of one character.
There's
Yes,
another
you
guy
can.
There's that
No,
other guy
you can
that
hate
flies
one
around.
character and crap talk a
Yeah.
and crap talk the rest
you
of the
guys
movie.
need to understand that radio-friendly conversation is not something
Oh,
we're
it's
familiar
fine.
with.
You know what?
Yeah, no,
You know what?
we our podcast is not radio friendly.
No, it's not.
I
It is
know.
not.
Oh,
That's
believe
why
me,
I
like
watch
said, he has bleeped me out more than any other person on this podcast by
Yeah.
far.
That's why I listen to most of my podcasts.
Oh,
Not my
God,
podcast, but the ones I listen to are all with headphones.
Oh, God,
Good idea.
We have a story, not to tell another one of our stories that everyone has heard 9 times, but where he was on the phone and had me on speakerphone, and I called him, and I was just bombing everything,
no.
and his son was sitting in the room.
Oh, no.
No, we were in the car,
Oh, was it
which
the
is
car?
why I answered with
And-
speakerphone because I was
And
driving.
then Sandra's
Oh,
like,
man.
"You're not allowed to be friends with him anymore."
Thank you. It's about time. Okay, so
Then you look at your wife and go, I
Anyway,
needed
anyway.
permission
Can
in the
we-
first place?
Could we please let him finish
Yeah,
his story
sorry.
wither some
Yeah.
podcast host interrupting him?
Luke has always come across as a whiny little punk anyway, so I never really liked him. Han was pretty cool. I like the original version of Star Wars where Han shot first. And
It's the only version of Star Wars.
The only version. Yes.
the original version.
It's the only version.
No, see, this goes along with that whole you don't like to admit that the prequels exist.
They don't.
They do.
They don't.
They do.
They were play acting.
No.
Who do you most identify with?
I Darth Vader.
Leia.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to be Leia.
Never
Or
did
be-
it for me. I love Carrie.
Radio friendly. Radio friendly.
I love Carrie Fisher. She just never did nothing for me.
Okay, well, see, you mentioned that
No,
you
no.
mentioned that you watched
Portman.
Blues Brothers. Well, okay, see, you mentioned that you watched Blues Brothers before, and I was surprised that you had never made the jump to Star Wars because she was in Blues
Oh,
Brothers.
she was great. She's a great character.
She
in
was
there.
the craziest girlfriend
Yeah.
ever.
But she didn't have cinnamon
Aren't
buns
they
on her
all?
head.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, yeah, they
It's
are.
only 5 minutes of the first one, anyways. More
What?
than 5 minutes, but
What, the cinnamon buns? Yeah, really. It's only
Well,
a 5
that was
minute
like a
version.
9-hour movie, wasn't it? Or did it just seem like it?
Oh my god.
Well, when you keep falling asleep and having to get up and rewind
You
it
have the
every 2
attention
hours,
span
it
of a
turns into
squirrel on
9-hour
crack?
movie.
Oh, maybe that's a note to self. Don't smoke crack and then watch Star Wars.
Yeah, that's
I
a
know
good
I was-
idea.
That's
No,
those
that's
are
a
words
good
to
idea.
live by. You know.
No, those are good words.
Knew I was doing something wrong, but it
No,
was the
it's-
70s.
I mean,
I was 11.
You realize that the new Avengers movies are longer than Star Wars?
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
See,
Braveheart was a way longer movie.
Guy in a blue painted face wearing a dress. Didn't like that one too much either.
That's yeah.
It's a skirt. It's
Do you
not
like
a
any
dress.
movies?
I love movies.
What movie? What movie?
No,
What movies do you
I
like?
did like
Fast
the
Times at
Avengers.
Ridgemont High.
Didn't watch it, lived it. No.
Fair enough. All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we can go with that.
I in the neighborhood I grew up in, it was my parents moved there in the mid 50s, and then I was born in 66. My brother still lives in that house to this day, and the neighborhood has cleaned up quite a bit. But in the early and mid 70s, we as a Hispanic and Portuguese family were the only white kids in the neighborhood, and we weren't white. Years later,
It's a statement.
It was a rough neighborhood. Still is to a certain extent. Somebody asked me, "Hey, you see that movie Fridays?" I said, see it. They filmed it at Fred's house across the street. It was that's the neighborhood I grew up in. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, fair enough.
No, I'm a fan of like detective movies. I love cop movies. I love old film noir. I love bogey movies.
You ever see Dick Tracy?
It was okay. It was silly. You talking about Warren Beatty?
Yeah, Warren Beatty,
It was
Madonna.
all right. It was kind of silly. It was all right.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
But
It was silly.
I
Absolutely.
like a lot of the old movies. Like I said, I was literally as a 10-year-old kid. You know what I used to listen to on the radio? The old radio.
Howdy Doody.
No, worse.
Oh.
The old radio shows, Jack Benny and stuff. One of the stations in the Bay Area
What's wrong
used
with
to
that?
play them. As a 10-year-old kid in the 70s, it
Did
wasn't
you-
normal.
Did you listen to War of the Worlds?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
loved it.
then how do you not
I
like
have.
Star Wars?
I have it on vinyl.
Because
I do.
I knew War of the Worlds was fake, and a lot of people don't know Star Wars is fake.
What are you talking
And
about?
have
Star
a long
Wars is
time
real.
ago in a galaxy far, far away.
No, I'm with,
That's
I'm
history.
with you. I'm with you. Star Wars is fake. I get you. Yeah.
No.
No, I
No.
will.
It's true.
I will tell you that, and it's having now sat and watched them with my son.
Yeah.
I have an entirely new appreciation for them. I really enjoyed sitting down and watching them this go around. One, because now I'm seeing. I grew up watching westerns. Star Wars is a western, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's if you take away, kind of like we were joking around earlier, but like Star Trek, the old TV show.
Yeah.
When that was produced, they wanted to do it not as sci-fi or fantasy. It was a reflection of the
Spaghetti
race
westerns.
wars and it was a reflection of Vietnam and the race problems that they were having in the 60s. But they couldn't do it. TV wouldn't let them do it. They set it in outer space, and we can do that now. Same storylines. So it wasn't necessarily sci-fi at its root. At its root, it was a social commentary, just like Star Wars. It's a great action film. It's just like a Western, but instead of 6-shooters, they got, other things they're shooting.
Well, they got laser pistols.
Yeah.
Lightsabers.
But deep down, now watching it again with my son, with a 50-some-year-old's eye, I can now go, oh, no, this is a good story. I like this. I like these characters. I didn't get it as a kid because I wasn't used to it. But now I've have a whole new appreciation for it again, watching it through my son's eyes.
Well, he finally grew up.
Maybe maybe your appreciation comes from the fact that your son genuinely loves it, and what brings
you can see it through his eyes.
Yeah, I'm watching him get all fired up and excited about it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and my wife, who is a diehard sci-fi and fantasy fan from as a little kid. Star Trek was her because and again, it wasn't so much for the stories. It was because that's what her and her dad, who has long ago passed away, her and her dad used to sit and watch Star Trek. So it holds that nostalgia for her. She loves it. We have the entire TV series.
Which one?
Bought.
The original series, TNG.
Yeah. TNG.
The Next Generation.
No, the
original.
The TOS. Yeah, the original series.
With this generation and later, it's always abbreviations. Everything's abbreviations.
Yes.
No.
That's the military influence on our
I'm
culture.
sorry, 1984, we all need easy
No, that's
we all
not
need easy
military.
No, we
it's
don't.
the
Yeah,
fact
we do.
that you can't spell and you have to just abbreviate.
Yes.
I don't know how to spell laugh. LOL.
That's right.
All right.
That old joke, I think it was a Patrice O'Neill. He says, if somebody had a gun to my mom's head and says, if you can't spell February, we're shooting her, I'd be an orphan.
That's just a product of the school system.
Maybe I should have went.
There you
Okay,
go.
so
There you go.
Darth is who you can really identify with. Why?
Yeah, well, I always liked Darth Vader just because of the fact that he was for the perfect phrase, a badass.
Yeah.
He's the original.
The perfect villain.
No,
Absolutely not perfect
No.
at all.
Palpatine
No.
is the perfect villain.
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine is the perfect villain. He's a faceless.
Are you happy I know who they're talking
No,
about?
I was going to explain it to you. It's the one with the lightnings out of his
It's
fingers.
the old white guy. the old white guy.
It's the wrinkly old white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the robe that sits on a chair, doesn't really do a whole lot,
And
tells everyone else what to
oddly
do.
enough, growing up, I think he lived across the street from me.
He lived in a lot of places.
He went by the name of Mr. McLeod, and he kept all the baseballs we hit over his fence. But the same guy.
Nice.
That's
It's
just
starting to turn
that
into
just sounds like
Sandlot,
Highlander.
too.
Wrinkly old white man.
Wrinkly old white man.
That's generally what they become.
I'm not that far.
And oddly enough, he was a senator at some point too.
Yeah, he still is.
So wrinkly old white guy.
There's several of them. Yeah.
Cruising through the malls. That was a great. I hate getting political on this show. Les loves it. But I thought the greatest example. What's his name? Moore. What's the guy's
Michael
name?
Moore?
No,
Roy Moore.
Roy Moore. His justification was every girl I ever dated under the age of 16, I had the permission of her mom. When you're 40,
in Alabama and Arkansas, of course.
when you're 40, you should not have to ask anybody's permission to go on a date. Enough said. Okay, back to
Anyway.
What?
Moving on.
What? What? No,
There's just a little segue.
and this,
That man shouldn't be asking for permission to date anyone.
that
So
was the
what
point.
about this strange guy in his basement?
Yeah, no, he's cool. He was married. They have kids now. It's no longer my big brother
Well, of course not.
because I kind of grew out of it. I got older.
I escaped.
Got out of the basement.
Found the keys.
And this segment of the Mile High Show brought to you by the new Big Brothers and Big Sisters chapter moving into Chino Valley next month. They are really
Are they really?
Yeah, they're taking over the community center. Big grand opening on December 14th.
Taking over. Good choice of words.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you're not exactly a fan.
Okay. Dirk. No, okay, let me...
Yes.
What was your introduction to the franchise?
Episode 4. I was 1 year old, and we were at the drive-in. I remember it. I remember watching
With anybody
the whole
you know,
thing.
or
My parents. I do
and some guy
vaguely
with
remember them.
and some guy with a basement.
He had a basement, yeah. There was a basement involved.
A lot of people have basements.
Do you?
But the drive-in was not in the basement.
Are you sure?
Do you honestly remember?
I do.
Driving at one.
I do. The biggest, strongest memory is what I brought up in the podcast. And at the end of it, when they're receiving their awards and everything, I started crying. And my dad looked in the back seat and said, "Why are you crying?" "It's so happy."
You can smell it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it off.
But what I realized later on, I didn't realize it then because I was 1 year old, even though I remember seeing it and everything.
Push it in.
It was...
We're talking about a heater right now. We're not talking about a 1-year-old in a
dirty.
drive-in.
Has nothing to do with the 6-inch black
So
version.
they say.
Black, nothing 6 inches, nothing.
Hey, Anthony at 5250, turn off.
So anyway, I didn't realize until later that it was the music itself that
Gotcha.
brought the emotion up.
John Williams.
And it still does. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know some things.
The music
Well,
itself.
now.
No, 'cause he did Jaws, too. Jaws, great movie.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you if you watched Jaws.
In the theater when I was 10 years old.
Nice.
You loved it,
Yeah.
didn't you?
My sister couldn't go in a swimming pool, lake, or beach for years. She couldn't even open our freezer because there was a pot roast in there that was kind of bloody. Couldn't do it.
Has she seen Piranha 3D?
No, but she finally,
Dude,
and I'm
would
not
you quit
joking.
bringing that up?
She's almost
It's a great
60.
movie.
She's almost 60. Finally rewatched Jaws about 5 years ago
Really?
and said, I was able to finish it.
My mom watched Alien in the theater. She says there's probably hand marks on the seat in front of her where she got scared. She's really scared. And she's never seen it again since.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. This movie that's coming out on December 15th is entitled
The Last Jedi.
Jedi.
The Last Jedi. What's the basic storyline, to your knowledge?
I heard something about porgs riding tauntauns.
Oh, jeez.
I have no idea what you
Thank
just
you.
said.
Thank you. Watch the Blue Milk Podcast, people.
Yeah,
I had to bring that up because that's
I
the most
appreciate
bizarre
that.
thing I've ever heard.
No, did you see like
Exactly.
did you hear like the episode where I went off on a tangent about like Jacob and Dirk were both like, "Oh my god, I love this, BJ. Keep telling us
Yes.
description." And I'm like,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I
That
don't
was
like
good.
this movie because it is terrible.
What did you just
remember that.
say? What,
Here, we'll turn off your mic. You just sit there and listen.
Okay, a porg is a mix between a penguin, a seal, and a gerbil.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
some kind
Richard,
of weird
have you-
genetic
this movie.
thing.
Have you watched any of the trailers? Santos, have you watched any of the trailers for the
think
new
so,
movie?
yeah.
Okay, you remember when Chewie's flying the Millennium Falcon? Both things you probably don't know what are.
Oh, I know. He's the
He's
the
the-
Fozzie Bear character.
There you go.
And then the flat ship.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
So the tall one, not the little one. Because
Yeah.
remember, there's all the little ones too.
Yeah, the little
Oh
furry
no,
ones.
those are the other guys. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had like the
They go yub yub and they
yeah, and
they
had
beat
the
on
little-
drums.
Didn't they have
Yeah.
like the ammunition across their chest?
No, that's Chewbacca.
No, didn't the little guys?
Yub
No.
yub. No, the little Ewoks have little bandoliers
They-
too.
do they?
that's-
Oh.
Yeah, they do.
They had shark teeth.
I just remember
necklaces.
Which was very offensive to short Mexican banditos.
Really?
That costume. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think so.
Pancho Villa's rolling in his grave.
He's cool. Okay, so what's
The porg is the little guy in that thing that starts like whimpering
He
or something.
screams. He's like,
yeah, he's screaming. It's like big black eyes. They're the Jar Jar Binks of the new generation.
Where
No,
does,
they're more
where
like
does this
Ewoks.
movie? Where does
Are
this
they?
movie take place chronologically? Because there's been some bouncing around,
directly after episode 7.
So-
which was
The Force Awakens.
Which would have been, 30 years after
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and then Rogue One went backwards
Yeah.
and was just before Episode 4.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah. It was
Rogue
in
One
between.
is a standalone.
I like that movie.
Actually,
That was real good.
Rogue One was near the end of that time period because there's like
Right.
a 19-year. There's a 19-year.
Didn't it
gap
happen
between,
just like weeks before?
No, immediately before. Because
Oh,
like
yeah.
at the end of
Immediate.
Rogue One, you see the Tantive 5, the Carillion Corvette that
Oh, yes.
Leia's on.
That's the shit that Leia gets captured on that Darth Vader walks on.
Right.
Yeah,
in the
you know
beginning of 4.
the ship they
Again, thing he
capture at the
doesn't know.
beginning of Episode 4.
Of course.
Yeah, no, you do. You know
I
what
don't
I'm talking-
remember.
I am.
It's the very beginning of the whole series. It's where you first meet. I mean, that's the most one of the most pivotal
The very
parts of the whole series.
The
is you
beginning
meet
of
Darth
the
Vader.
first movie was me in front of the microwave making popcorn. Oh, That's what I remember.
Do you see what I've been dealing with for years?
You know what?
Get
I
him to
feel your
watch
pain.
these.
I feel
I'm
your
done.
pain.
I'm
out. I'm out.
See, not so good when the cards are reversed, are they? See, when we do these all the other times, there are people that don't watch Star Wars.
No, it's not. It's me getting bombarded by you guys. The only reason Matt's not hit me is his hands are too cold to come out of those pockets.
That's
What
accurate.
hands? I
Actually,
can't feel them.
yeah. There you go.
Okay, so what have they kept the plot under wraps or
It's
what?
been pretty quiet. They've been keeping it very enigmatic.
Well, I don't know how you guys are on this, but I try not to watch anything going up to the movies except for like the official trailers. I try not to read anything.
I agree.
I want to experience the movie for what it is.
So-
I
I
don't
agree.
want the spoilers.
I like to just
and all
come
that
up.
crap.
I like to just come up with my own ideas,
Now-
and they're usually very off base. But I like to imagine that that's where the world's going to go.
Now
I think that's what we did.
Now, for the franchise going forward, have they said there's going to be X amount of episodes and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
done? Or
No.
Okay, so it has the potential to continue.
Well, okay,
They did say they are going to do
so
episode 9
They're
for
doing.
sure.
They're doing
Okay.
episode 8,
And then
they're doing
Rian Johnson
9.
is doing
Well, they're doing a Han
a
Solo.
trilogy.
Well, they're doing the Han Solo spin-off.
Just
movie.
one, yeah.
That's what I want to see. That I've heard about that. That to me would be interesting because of the favorite characters, I think Han's one of my favorites.
Did you like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? 'Cause
Never saw it.
that movie was the director of that movie was the director of the Han Solo movie.
I do like Meatballs.
Till Ron
Not a
Howard took
fan of
over.
Overcast Weather.
Well, yeah, until they canned him or
Yeah.
then
Now-
it was the duo.
Now let's go around because we're coming up on that time. Let's go around and we'll start with Matt.
Oh,
Just
Lord.
very very basic where you would like to see the franchise going.
Well, I
kind
don't
of
know about the
twists and
franchise,
turns?
but I'll touch on the next movie.
No. Just what you would like to see as a fan. I don't want not what you've seen or what you're anticipating. Where you would like to see it go. What would you like to see?
Like
Some
the franchise as a whole, or
Yeah.
just the next movie?
the franchise, man.
Well,
Listen to his words.
I know, but we could be here for a while when he says the franchise.
no, just
no. Just
So-
where
Well, okay, I brought this up. I sent this to you as a question
Yeah,
on
dude.
Facebook, and I not
next
sure if
week's
you talked
episode?
about it.
Yeah,
Okay, you guys
yeah,
talked
you're
about
on it. You
Because
got
that's
it.
one of my favorite things is the Darth Bane book trilogy. I mean,
Yeah.
I freaking
Brain.
Darth Bane.
Bane.
Darth
See,
Brain.
He is
Darth
a Nazi.
Brain.
He's a word Nazi.
Darth
This is
Bane,
what I
yeah.
have to deal with.
well,
wasn't
speak
he in
properly, damn it.
So they're
Sorry.
mixing
What we're
Star
saying.
Wars and Batman. Is that what I'm getting
No.
out of this?
Oh, you wish.
No, this is a whole.
You might actually be interested in watching it, man.
it's the Star Bat.
He doesn't like Batman either.
Oh, I love Batman.
Oh.
Love Batman. Love Men in Tights. Go ahead.
Wait, like
That's Robin Hood.
like Robin Hood Men in Tights? Because they could do that too.
Star Wars Men in
just a
Tights.
God
Just imagine. Just imagine.
Bring Mel Brooks
if
back.
Mel Brooks made a Batman.
There you go.
spin-off. Oh,
Perfect.
My God, that'd
Okay,
be
go-
great.
go-
Okay, well, Disney has awarded the director of Last Jedi, sight unseen so far to the public, his own trilogy.
Yeah, Ryan
Correct.
Johnson.
Right, Ryan Johnson. And they haven't said what it is, what
Which
era it's
brings
gonna
up my
be, if
question:
it's gonna be a
where would
continuation
you
or whatever.
like to see it go?
Well, that's what I was going to say. The Darth Bane trilogy is a series of books that are just incredible. That takes place long before what we know as Star Wars, the films.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
it's evil, it's dark, it's twisted, it's awesome characters. I
so
would
you
like
want
to
see
that.
the dark
I would like to
side
see-
really explored?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Why
that's
not?
my favorite aspect of the whole thing is the
BJ,
dark side.
Where
We
would
got
you
the
like?
better
What
toys.
would you like to? You're given control. Where would you like to see it go?
Well, see, they
In a few
already,
sentences.
They already went away from where I wanted them to go, which is to say, I would have killed off Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. in episode 7. They all would have died. And then it would have been great. I would have gone from there.
They killed off one, and
the other one died of natural
eventually
causes.
died.
Yeah, this is the reason I would have killed them off at 7 is because
They're
she
old.
did die. That way you don't have to worry about
Anyway.
it.
Dark side, evilness.
Kill 'em all.
Serial killer.
Yeah, serial
Dirk,
killer.
where do you
we'll
want it to
with
go?
that.
I would like to see them go back into the past when the Force started and when they started realizing what all this was. I'd like
the
to
Force
see the
Wars.
beginnings.
So what Jacob said.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I would like to see the beginnings of it.
Okay, now we're going to watch maybe some smoke come out of those earplugs, those headphones. What's the gist of the blue milk? Where does that come from?
Oh no!
No. That's cool. That's cool.
I have no
That's
idea.
a quick, easy answer, though.
Yeah, it is.
But I'll let
Easy.
these guys do it because they're
Because
podcasts.
we're talking about the Blue Milk Podcast at BlueMilkPodcast.com. Links to their Facebook page and YouTube page right there. Subscribe, watch, laugh, and watch Dirk drink.
Oh, make sure you grab a glass before you watch it.
Drink along.
We
with
all,
her.
Oh, yeah.
like, just because he goes by drinking doesn't mean that he's the only one drinking. Like
That's true. That is true. These guys
me
get
and
involved.
Tyler, Jacob doesn't.
They keep it quiet most of the time.
Where does what's the significance of blue milk?
That's
for it, Blue Jay.
That's what Luke was drinking when he was sitting with Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru on the moisture farm at the beginning of episode 4.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's what she was pouring.
It's bantha milk. It comes out blue
Yeah.
because of just the genetics.
Yeah.
Can you drink it right out of the bantha?
Yeah, why not?
They're like
They're like
big
cows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not any different.
No, they're not blue cows.
Not like blue. The
No.
bull. Well, I mean that was a bull.
That was an ox.
Ox. Yeah, there you go.
Paul Bunyan. See, I
Yeah.
know Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well,
He was real. All right, go around the table again, Mr. Matt Hinshaw. Where can folks find out about you?
At Hinshaw Photo on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters.
The Facebooks, the Twitters,
The MySpace.
in
The
this,
Walmarts.
in this,
the
in this-
Walmarts.
in this
That's
hour,
where I live in a
this,
van.
In this hour,
down by
he
the
is-
river.
No, definitely down by the river next to the Walmart.
In this hour, he is aged 42 years. What's coming up? Where do we? This will go up in the next day or so. What's on schedule for the
Suns
Suns?
are off for the entire week, which is kind of nice for me.
Okay.
But the next game is next Tuesday at 6:30 at the Prescott Valley Event Center. See, I almost
And-
called it Tim's again.
And then
I've done that a few
December
times.
10th, which is a Sunday, there'll be an afternoon game
Yes.
where we will be on site recording a podcast
3
for the
o'clock.
Mile High Show.
I think it's 3 o'clock tip off.
I'll be out there with
Pete.
Pete Jelovic of Chino Valley High School
That'll be
talking
fun.
sports and sports memories and all that good stuff. Again, BJ, where can folks find out about you, what's going on with you, and specifically your podcast?
We release new episodes every Monday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and they can watch them at the BlueMilkPodcast.com to get to our YouTube page, as well as like or
Facebook.
follow us on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dirk,
you can find me wherever you can find BJ.
in some strange man's basement.
Yeah,
He was there. He was there. He was there. He was like 10.
Yeah, I'm sure I was floating around there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug? What do you do for what do you do for work?
The Blue Milk Podcast. The woman has it right. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. I'm a physicist without a job. But the Blue Milk Podcast will be at the Harkins in Prescott Valley
Yeah.
the night of the 14th to
Oh,
watch
nice.
The Last Jedi.
Now,
Yeah.
are you going to do a podcast there as well?
And we are going to do a review after the show. We're going to go back and we'll release that review on Friday morning.
I will tell you what, and I'll throw this out there into the stratosphere. I've got some portable gear. If you guys want to take it and do some stuff like in line and stuff, that might be fun. If you're up to it.
Yeah,
do that?
Maybe.
Keep it in mind. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you let me know.
We'll do. We'll do.
That is it. That's 158. Thank you to the good folks at Park Plaza Liquor and Deli for letting us take up space and eat their food and drink their beverages. Thanks to Matt Hinshaw, BJ, Lordi, and Dirk. What's your last name? I'm sorry. Vandenberg. You got that wrong, BJ.
Yeah, I know. I always do.
You got that as wrong as Matt got my phone number.
He's only known me for 3 months.
All right. Use that Amazon link for all your online shopping, Matt, so that I can afford to not sleep on Matt's couch, because if you've seen that couch, you know it is not
I thought you got a new one.
I do. Not a new couch.
No. He got a new stain on the couch.
That's
not from me, though. That's from you.
I got a new recliner.
Tomato. That's it. That's 158 in the can. Thank you for sitting down and chatting with me. Don't forget, The Last Jedi, December 15th at a theater near you. Quick plug out to Victory Wealth Management. Mr. James Haight, a good friend of mine. He is doing a client appreciation event at Harkins in Prescott Valley, which is a private showing. I will be there doing some photos for him. It is also, oddly enough, a benefit to help out the Chino Valley Boys and Girls Club. So thank you, James Haight and Victory Wealth Management, for letting a bunch of fans and me go to see this new Star Wars movie. And that's it. 158 is in the books.
Why don't you come see it with us?
Yeah, because I'm old and I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
And hey, how about that nutty Star Wars bar? Can you forget all the creatures in there? And hey, Darth Vader in that black and evil mask, did he scare you as much as he scared me? Ah!